available, and we're talking to Anita and Yahim from Wesley Hall this evening. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you. So, what does Wesley Hall, where is it? In case people don't know, I know where it is, but just in case people don't know where it is, and what do you do?
Okay, Wesley Hall is a registered charity. It's based in Highfields, 76 Hartington Road, LE20GN.
So it's right opposite the Spinney Hill Park. Spinney Hill Park on the corner of Hartington Hill, St Saviour's Road, right at the top there corner.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
And it's been there a long time?
Oh, it's been serving the community for more than 30 years.
Yes, I know. I grew up in that area, so I remember going there many times, even when I was a little boy. So
yeah, and we have been recognized as a community anchor, a very safe place where local people of all faiths come in to share the positive experience with their friends and neighbors.
Excellent. And, you know, the city is in a bit of a mess at this moment in time. You know, we've had 2 years of COVID, lots of people living in isolation, lots of people struggling financially because of the financial impact of pricing increasing on you know, inflation, energy costs, and a whole manner of different issues. We also had the shutdown of lots of factories because of the Boohoo scandal and all of those issues that happened over the last couple of years. You know, people are really struggling out there, aren't they?
Yeah, very true. You know, Wesley Hall, we opened a food bank early part of COVID, that is in March 2020, to help the Spinney Hill area people and beyond that. And we operated all 5 days during COVID, and we served around more than 400 people per week.
Anita, you know, people who are listening to this might not understand. You know, Ramadan is a holy spiritual month for us because it's all about, you know, we don't eat, we don't drink water. It's about, and you know, it is tough. It's just tough. But you're talking about people who are struggling. They can't provide a meal for their families. How does that, you know, how...
even in this holy month, they are fasting. Still, they come to our food bank. The weather was so bad last 2 days. It was raining and it was so cold. Still, people were queuing. We had more than 250 people on one day.
Yeah. And do you hear some of their stories of what's happened to them?
It's heartbreaking when you hear their stories. People have lost their jobs. They have been working less than minimum wage, and they have lost their loved ones. So it's really, if you listen to their stories, it's very heartbreaking.
I was there only a few days ago, and I saw some of these people queuing up outside. And, you know, one of the things that I sort of thought when I was looking at them, thinking, how is this come to happen in a city like Leicester, in a country like the UK, and in this day and age where we have people who struggling to provide, you know, have something to eat?
Yeah, we have a lot of asylum seekers, refugees, people whose immigration status has not been confirmed yet, people who have lost their jobs. So all this has led into, so we are very helpful that we are able to offer this service. We are able to offer a meal for them.
And do people, when they come, are they scared? Are they okay? Or are they embarrassed? How do they feel?
In the beginning, they were very scared. They were, you know, but now they have come to a stage where they are desperate to have the food. They have meal for their families. You know, so they have to queue up. But very soon we'll be changing the food bank into a food pantry.
Okay. And Yahim, how you've started this food bank and the pantry, how do you feel? You've come in as, you're a trustee of Wesley Hall. How does it make you feel when you see it in operation?
Well, yes, that's true. I'm a trustee of Wesley Hall, and I actually don't live in Leicester.
Okay.
I live near Derby in a small place called Ockbrook, which is quite an affluent area, and I come very regularly, at least twice a week, to Leicester, and I can see the huge difference. And when I come to Leicester, and in particular to Wesley Hall, I feel very privileged that I can be part of this, because we all need to come together, and we need to pull our resources together and support each other. So the food bank has been vital throughout the pandemic, and will be vital further on. When we look at the differences in terms of income, in terms of living standard, and so forth, they are huge, and we do need to have the solidarity in our society that brings everyone closer together.
Yeah, and I think that's the real sort of beauty about this, really, because you've got people from all different backgrounds, all different religions, coming to your Wesley Hall, coming to the food bank, coming along and asking for help, and you're providing them help regardless of whoever they are. And that is a huge, huge positive for a city like Leicester. But it's also very sad as well to see so many people struggling. And one of the things that happens when people start struggling, they end up into the wrong things, into crime, into drugs, into all sorts of issues. And by supporting them, you're trying to protect them from lots of other things, aren't you, really?
Yeah, it's not only that. With the food bank, we have helped them to build up their confidence, because most of them have even not been to the town.
They haven't been to Leicester City?
Leicester City.
Wow.
They've been here for more than 5-6 years, but they have not been to the Leicester City. So we have took them personally and showed them different places, museums. And it's not only a food bank. We have showed them how to eat healthy vegetables, because some of them were not knowing what's broccoli. So we had to give them recipes of different...
because most of these people are used to rotis and rice and all the Asian type of food. And actually, food bank food is not normally that. It's baked beans, it's different things. So it's something that they haven't normally eaten. How has that gone?
We had to educate them. So most important thing was education. It's not only a food bank, it's just educating them into everything. We had come across domestic violence. People have come to us personally and explained us how they are going through their lives. So it's building their confidence, showing them the right way, and also their English, because English is their second language. So we had to start English class for them, functional skills.
So you ended up going in just providing food. And then you've gone into the whole background and actually the whole support element of the families, which is really something different. It really is different. So you're listening to Radio Ramadan on 87.7 FM. Our telephone number, if you want to call into the studio, is 0116 482 2086, or you can WhatsApp us on 07748 855 055. Please send us a message if there's any questions you want to ask. We're talking to the trustees of Wesley Hall and the centre manager for Wesley Hall. Now, apart from this food bank and apart from the other activities that you've talked about, you do a whole list of other things. And one of the things that was interesting that I looked on the list is mental health and learning disability classes. Now, during lockdown, lots of people haven't ventured outside their houses, particularly in those areas, because they're scared that they might get COVID. And I know of lots of people who have contacted me as well, that some people haven't left their houses for years. How's that?
So we supported them through telephone support. We had Zoom classes, and most of them didn't know how to use Zoom. So we had to literally explain them each and every step. They didn't have IT skills, so we told them you can use it from your mobile. So we went to that extent, like we explained each and every step. Now they're able to use Zoom, and now they've started coming to our day center. We had to literally build up their confidence to come to the day center. So we have all 5 days from morning 9 till 4 o'clock, and we have different activities like mindfulness, art and craft, baking, and Bollywood music, seated exercise.
So huge list of activities that you're doing there. And, the other one was the elderly lunch club. So elderly people can come along, have lunch together, and there's no restriction on who comes, and it's all free?
It's fair. No, we charge £4.50
for the lunch.
For the lunch, but the seated exercise is included, which is free.
Which is free.
Yeah, and we can drop them as well.
We've got a message coming in. Bilal Mohammed. Anita is fantastic at what she does. She is so welcoming towards my students. Keep doing what you're doing. Fantastic work.
Thank you, Bilal.
Yes. So I went in there a few weeks ago and absolutely amazed about the work that's going on, and actually it's so good to see that an organisation getting together with the community, because you are part of the community, and looking at their needs and providing all the extra services. We were talking earlier on an earlier show about the study class. You offer a study class on
study club on Saturday. That's funded by BBC Children in Need. That's for children who are new to this country and their parents' English is a second language, so they're not able to support their children. So we have got children from 5 to 11 years where we help them with their English and maths.
Excellent. And that class, how much is it? Totally free?
It's free.
It's totally free. So, that is a huge stepping stone, because education is a route out of poverty for lots of people. And we had a few days ago on here the chief executive of Leicester Hospitals, and he was saying, look, we want to encourage people from deprived backgrounds to come and work at our hospitals, and we were offering work experiences, whatever they can do. And how many children turn up at your study class? How many people come?
We have got around 48 children registered.
48 children registered.
Yes, we have still got a waiting list, because that's the maximum amount we can take.
Yes, right, wow. And why is that the maximum amount? Is that because of funding or space? Or
It's a funding we have got, because we have got a minimum amount of funding. So definitely if we get more funding, we'll increase that to more number of days.
Yeah, no, exactly. And let's hope you can achieve that, because it's about delivering for the community. One of the other classes that you've got a whole list of things, so people can just walk into Wesley Hall and ask, what's happening today? Can I take part? And most of the activities are free.
Most of the activities are free, and then we have listed on our Facebook, Instagram, which we update every day.
Okay. And your Facebook page, can you just tell the listeners what your Facebook page is?
Yeah, it's Wesley Hall Community Centre.
Wesley Hall Community Centre on Facebook. And is there a website you have or not?
Yeah, Active Wesley Hall.
Active Wesley Hall.
Wesley Hall.
Okay, we'll try and get that up so we can put it up on our Facebook page as well, so that we can advertise it. And I know that Yahim, that you've been. How long have you been a trustee? And doesn't it make you proud to be part of something really special in a city like Leicester?
Oh, most definitely. I'm a trustee for about 3 years, I believe now. Yes. And it really makes me feel proud, or I feel privileged that I can be part of such a wonderful enterprise.
Okay. And what made you join as a trustee?
Well, I'm a church minister of the Moravian Church next door, Wesley Hall Church. And having the community center right next door, I felt we need to have a much stronger connection to the local community. And over time, it just happened. And I really feel very privileged.
Yeah. I can tell you, for me, growing up in those streets, I grew up in Buxton Street and I'm in that area. I used to go to Wesley Hall for our madrasa classes, used to go there for weddings, different events, and it has a special place in lots of people's heart, because it has always been in the heart of the community. And it is so good to see so much different, diverse work going on there for all of the community and serving everybody. It's about humanity, and you really are putting humanity first, because you've got a cross-section of different people from all different backgrounds, all different religions, who are working there with you and trying to deliver the best for the community possible. One of the things that I always think, what would you like to do more for the people around in that area?
When I think about it, also your question about how I came about being a trustee, one of my passions is building bridges between different groups in the society, between people of different religions, between people of different cultural backgrounds, from different languages, and so forth. Because I've seen in my own lifetime so many divisions which in many ways are unnecessary, and prejudice towards people who worship differently, who have a different culture, who have different eat different food, or whatever it may be. Yes, it all enriches us if we look at it properly, and if we build bridges and work together and come together. I myself grew up in East Germany, and I've seen what divisions means, and I want to do everything to overcome barriers and prejudice and all the rest of it. Because after all, as you say, we are all part of one humanity.
One humanity,
and
yeah.
This is what matters.
This is the most important thing. And actually, Islam teaches us that. Every religion teaches that. We just need to put it into practice. Yeah. And I think you're doing a fantastic job at Wesley Hall, being able to do that by bringing everybody together and providing all these different services. And, thank you to you and thank you to the rest of the trustees for the great job that you do, because it's all voluntary. It's all, people putting their heart into something to try and make a difference. And when you look at the streets around Wesley Hall and look at the city and you hear some of the sad stories, we were talking to Salma Owen a little earlier, and lots of children from different schools haven't got money to go on school trips. Yeah, and they can't go on school trips. Lots of sort of issues that are happening across the board, and it just makes you think that why can't we do more? What can we do to try and help? And I'm so glad to hear so many people out there trying to do more. You're listening to 87.7 FM. This is Radio Ramadan. I'm going to go back to you, Anita. You've obviously developed lots of these different things over the last few years. What do you think is your highlight? What is your favourite sort of things that you do, activities that you do, that you really enjoy encouraging?
Mostly the mental health and the Elders Lunch Club. When I see the elders coming into Wesley Hall and they share the memories, they have been coming there for many, many years.
Yes.
Yeah, so during COVID, they really, they missed coming.
Yes.
And they want to come back. And the elders, when they come back and when they get along with the day center members, with the preschool, and we have got schools, local schools coming in and learning from the elderly people.
Yes.
So that makes us really proud, and even the elders feel very proud that they can pass on their experience to the children. And that's really good, something special, because the sacrifices in this community have been made by the elder generation. Yeah. They have worked incredibly hard to make life better, and I think lots of social isolation in those streets now and those areas, because children have grown up, got good jobs or got jobs elsewhere, parents are on their own. And that society, we've got to try and do something we can. And so this is a place where they come, they meet their friends, they make new friends, they learn different skills, they take part in singing, dancing. Elderly people, when they come there, they're in their different world. And they're so sad to go back. When it's 3 o'clock, when they have to leave, they're very sad.
They're very sad. Oh, wow. Okay.
They love to meet their friends. They love to be in that.
And I also know that you're trying to arrange some trips to different locations, to Rutland Water, Blackpool, and some of those. I'm sure they would love to. They're waiting.
Love to, yes. Before COVID, 2 years back, we did 2 coaches to Skegness, which was fully booked. So they really had a very, very good time.
They had a good time, didn't they? Yeah. So I know you're trying to arrange trips over the next 12 months, next few months, hopefully in the summer for lots of those people. Because for them, this is their only outing, isn't it?
Yeah,
really?
That's the only thing. Even for, the local women, because what they do is they drop their children to school and they come for a exercise class, for mindfulness session, and they look forward for going on such trips.
Excellent. Now, we've got another member of your team. Please introduce yourself from Wesley Hall. Thank you very much for coming along as well.
Thank you very much. My name is Aisha, and I am one of the newest and youngest appointed trustees at the centre. I previously used to go there, growing up. It was around the area where I grew up. And just recently, I used to kind of work because I work for Dumont University, so we had some sessions there as well. So it's just that's how it kind of came back into my life.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. No. So, and what's special about Wesley Hall for you?
I mean, what isn't? That's the question.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
That's the question. Mashallah, they do so much for so many different, varieties of people. They kind of look at the mental health aspect, the physical aspect, doing food banks. They look at, things to do to be more productive, more creative, to learn more. So, what isn't there to be not special?
Yeah, it is a special place. And if you think about Leicester and the communities, lots of people don't have English as their first language, do they?
Leicester is the most multicultural city out of Europe.
Yes.
So, based on that, English is not the first language that's spoken here.
You're definitely not from Leicester, though.
Well, I like to say that I am, but I was raised in the US.
You were raised in the US. You can certainly tell by your accent. My accent is definitely Buxton Street, and I can tell. So true Leicester. But the thing is, Leicester is a melting pot from different parts of the world and different communities from the world, and it's got a special place, and we need to make it special. And so for you, what is your favourite classes that operate out of Wesley Hall? What do you like the most that you think, wow, this really, for me, it makes a difference to the people?
I mean, every single time they put something on, that's my exact feeling, like, oh, this is fantastic, this is amazing. But I think the winner for me would have to be the day center, only because it is for, like, the most vulnerable people who have mental illnesses. They have a safe space to go to. Like, I was just speaking to the volunteer one of the days, and they're saying from when they first started as a volunteer and where they are now, the confidence of the people who attend is just immense. And to kind of see that growth and, be able to be part of that growth is amazing.
Yeah, and actually, those people are the most vulnerable people by a long, long way.
Absolutely.
The life expectancy in the city and parts of the county, there's almost a 15 years difference in some parts.
Really?
It's huge. It's a huge, huge difference. And you notice that when you start looking at the figures. And actually, the activities that you do and the sort of involvement that you can give them, the more you can do, the better off you. What frustrates both of you when it comes to dealing with what you do? What is the things that you think, hang on, this is not fair, this is not right?
When we don't get the funding.
I was just going to say that. I was like, that's Anita's favorite question.
Yes.
Well, when you don't get the funding,
like basically now, recently we had funding for youth club, and we did all the outreach work. We had around more than 50 children coming in. It started in January and finished in 31st March, just for 3 months. And we felt we worked so hard. We got the children out of the street, and they felt it's a safe place to come. And now there's no funding to move forward.
Literally, just on the basis of that, I was speaking to one of the people who like organized it, and they were saying when they first had this youth club, and all these children were so like addicted to their video games, their phones, the social media.
You see, this is the thing, you see, with Leicester at this moment in time, and we call the show Wake Up. The wake up is that actually we need to do something, do activities, give our children something to do in these streets, because otherwise they're going to be picked up by crime, by drugs, by all the nasty things that are around across the city and across the county. And people target these areas to do that, to influence children. And that's the reality. And actually, Wesley Hall provides something different in the heart of the community. And it's just, like you said, sometimes the funding is frustrating. You don't get that. But, we'll always try and work wherever we can, and lots of people out there are supporting you.
Oh yes, definitely. With our food banks, with all our activities, there are local people, local businesses who support us, who donate us. Yeah, thanks to our volunteers and the local businesses and the local charities who are continuously supporting us.
Yeah, I mean, that's the point, that local people are involved, and actually, hopefully it'll grow and grow and grow. And you might actually end up saying, well, Wesley Hall might be too small.
Well, let's hope we come to that point.
Yes.
And local people, they say that it's their second home. They don't feel like as if they're coming to a center. They feel it's their home, second home. And for 2 years, like when they were not allowed to come in due to COVID, they were missing. They're saying we missed our home.
I think as soon as, like, if you haven't been to Wesley Hall and you go, you'll instantly feel like a long lost family, basically. Like, that's the vibe you get as soon as you enter the building.
Yeah. And I've in the past done NHS events there, and I always do it there because I just think actually people quite like to go to different places, to that particular place, because it has memories for lots and lots of people for lots of different reasons. And, people feel safe there because they know the place. And actually, you have an open door policy. Your door is always open.
Always open.
Always.
It's always open.
Yeah. And every day we get someone saying that, oh, as a child we used to come here.
Yeah.
And it's been like 40 years now.
Yeah.
And so many people come there and say we have got so many nice memories.
Yeah. Or the youth
got
centre
married.
back in the day, they used to be like part of that. And then they're like, oh, I can't believe this is happening again. So it's literally like a lot of like memorabilia and like reminiscent from them.
Yeah. I mean, certainly when I go in there, I feel that, and I think lots of our listeners probably feel the same way. You can call into the studio on 0116 4822 or you can send us a message on WhatsApp, which our number is 077 488 55055. You're listening to Radio Ramadan on 87.7 FM. I'm going to go through back to some of the classes that you run, because it's an open door policy. Anybody from any background. It's about supporting the community, looking after humanity. Lots of your things. What is the pantry that's going to be opening over the next few days?
Okay, pantry is opening this Saturday, and everybody are welcome. So local pantry mean people can bring down their food shopping bills because of the pantry. They just have to pay £4 and they'll get groceries worth £15. And they can access good food.
So hang on a second. So how much do they spend? How much do they cost?
£4.
£4, and how much worth of groceries do they get?
£15 worth.
So £15 from £4. That's for people who are deprived and are struggling.
Yeah.
Let's make it clear. It's for people who are struggling, genuinely struggling, regardless of whoever they are, whatever their background, genuinely struggling. They'll get £4. They have to pay £4 to get £15 worth of groceries.
And the good part of it is they can come and select what they want. With our food bank, we used to make food parcels and just give it to them. We are not sure whether they use that food, or sometimes we give different types of vegetables. They don't know how to cook.
Absolutely. So, and it's a lot about kind of like the sustainability of it, and a lot of less food waste, basically, because if people get to have a choice in what they want, and they pick like what works for them and their household.
So where does this food come from that you're actually giving them at this moment in time?
Okay, we are registered with Fasha and also Neighborly. Neighborly is different supermarkets.
Okay.
And also Asda, they raise funds for us. They give us donations. Okay. So different supermarkets, they give us.
And do you when is that opening? So that's opening on
Saturday, 9th of April.
9th of April.
At 2:30.
2:30. Okay. And that's going to run for the rest of the year. That project.
Yes, it's going to run.
And any particular day, or is it every day?
It's Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
From
okay.
12:30 till 3.
12:30 till 3. So, and anybody who's genuinely struggling to pay their bills, to buy food for their children, they can come along and they can use that food pantry.
Yes, because that money, the freeing up more money for more essential other items they can buy, because enabling them tight budgets to stretch a little further.
It's almost a financial aid.
Yeah.
They can spend that money elsewhere.
The credit crunch is on, effectively. They're going to have to pay higher fuel bills, energy, gas, electricity rates, whatever it might be. And I know there'll be a lot more people struggling this year. So I'm sure, hopefully some of our listeners out there will want to come and help and contribute and do whatever they can for Wesley Hall as well, because you're doing a great service for the community. And there's another couple of activities that you wanted to mention as well.
Yeah, we'll be launching a Under 5s project very soon, which is, the launch is on 13th of May. So that is, we have for young children, mostly it's starting with baby yoga, baby massage, parent and toddlers, singing and stories. So the launch date is on 13th of May. Everybody are welcome.
Okay, so I can come along to the Under 5s? No, not quite.
If you have an Under 5.
No, I'm just. It's interesting because actually, it's good to have young people and the elderly generation being supported, because they're the most people who are
grandmom, grandparents, everybody can come.
Yes, exactly, yeah. It's a huge plus. And there's something else you're doing as well, launching
we have got a ladies' night on 21st of May.
Okay.
Because it's been 2 years where most of them have been isolated. They have not come out. They have not seen their friends. So we are planning to have a
ladies only, only ladies, which is great, because I know there's lots of people in that area who have struggled during COVID because they've also almost become isolated themselves.
They've not met their friends. They've not seen each other. Still, they are very scared to come out. We have to really motivate them, encourage them to come.
It's left a fear in a lot of people's heart, and by providing these networking opportunities and these things
they'll have giant samosas or bhajiyas or whatever they. I like to talk about food when I'm fasting because it's not long to go, mashallah. So it's Ramzan is going pretty good. So and that's what encourages them to come out, I suppose.
Yeah. And also from next Wednesday, we'll be having an advice service at Wesley Hall.
Oh yeah.
Which we never
We've
had
never
that.
had that before.
Yeah, because most of them were asking for immigration advice, social service, welfare, housing advice, employment rights, human rights. So we are going to start that from next Wednesday.
Okay, excellent. And what's your plans for the future? You know, you've got all these services running. You've got all this sort of some funding for some things, and you're trying to push for funding for the other ones. And what is your plan for the future? What would you like to see happen at Wesley Hall? And maybe not just Wesley Hall, but generally in the area over the next year or two?
Yeah, we would like the local community people like to volunteer more. We have volunteers we would like them to volunteer more. And maybe saying that it's their own center. You know,
like a sense of ownness.
You want them to own it,
own it basically,
feel it.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, which they feel, but maybe give more time to the center.
But then also, I think from my point of view, I think a lot of more people in Leicester to know more about Wesley Hall and about what we do, rather than just a community centre.
Yeah,
because to kind of have our positive change kind of known out everywhere, basically.
And also, do you still hire out the halls for different functions, for parties and things like that?
Yes, yeah. We do hire out halls. We have got 2 halls, the function room and the main hall. So we get wedding bookings, receptions, mehndi parties.
And that income, you use that to pay for the ongoing running costs of the place?
Running cost of the,
And also, that hall has previously been used for, like, you know, when we have Ramadan bazaars, or if anyone's kind of putting on like a little bazaar type thing to have little stalls in, that's a perfect place, because, you know, it's a great area to do that in.
We're going to have an iftari party
Of
as
course,
well.
Yeah, I mean, you had one a few years ago, I know.
Yes, 2 years back.
2 years
COVID.
back.
We had everything 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to do that very soon.
Very soon, okay. Make sure I get an invite. I'll be more than happy to come. I love the idea of coming along to Wesley Hall, especially for an iftari. But you know, the wider community there, you know, lots of people who live in that area, obviously from the Muslim community. During Ramadan, for them, is a holy month. Do you see many of them coming along for some of the activities?
They still come.
Which is good.
Come for all the activities. Yeah, which is good to see.
It's very good to see.
Yeah, because we have aerobic sessions going on. But what we do is there's no music. But they still come to keep their mental well-being and physical well-being going. So which is nice to see during this holy month of Ramadan. They still come to meet their friends.
And you know, one of the things that is really important is the mental health, because in isolation, every problem that somebody has seems so big. And there's an English saying that a problem shared is a problem halved.
Very true.
Right? Yeah. And the more people you can get together to talk about their issues, they say, actually, what you're talking about is not that bad. Don't worry, you can do this or you can do that. Talking to people really relieves a lot of strain, a lot of pressure on people's brain, you know, on their stress levels. And I think that is a really, really important service. And we should be encouraging people. So if you're listening to this show at the moment out there, and you think, oh, you might have a relative or you might know somebody who might benefit from some of these activities that are happening at Wesley Hall, please get in touch with the people at Wesley Hall or go along to Wesley Hall. It's open almost every day of the week, 9 till about 5 every day. So it's an open door policy. Just go in and just see if you can join in some of the activities, or you have a relative or an auntie or an uncle who lives in the area that you can encourage to join in, because actually it will give them some social activity, give them something to do that might be different from their life, and it will help extend their life.
Yes, definitely.
It will help them live longer, because they will be socially engaged, they'll be mentally engaged, they'll be keeping fit themselves, won't they?
It improves the quality of their life and gives them like a purpose almost. Yeah, I have to go there Wednesday. I have to meet my
just
friend.
wait to come.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, you can call us on the studio number, which is 0116 4822 086, or you can send us a message on 077 488 55055. You're listening to Radio Ramadan on 87.7 FM. I'm your host, Zuffar, and we're here with Wesley Hall, Anita, and Aisha. Sorry, I keep forgetting Aisha. I won't forget that again. So, Aisha and Anita, you know, one of the things that I really love about Leicester is its diverse community and the way it all intermingles and humanity is always put first. You're both not from Leicester. How have you found it different to where you have come from, in the sense of the way that Leicester seems to come together as a community generally?
Yeah, it's really nice to see from people from different backgrounds, different faith coming together. At least at Wesley Hall, we see people from all different culture coming together. And it's nice. We share recipes, we share our experience, positive experience, everything. And it's a very different, because we hear different stories, but when we come and see it, it's totally different. People live in such a nice, peaceful atmosphere.
It really is true, and I come from the States. That's completely different to how Leicester is, because the area was not as cultured as Leicester. So when I first came, I still have that fond memory that I was just walking down the street or in a store, and I could hear and understand another conversation, but in a different language. Like, that was for me so rare to see. The fact that it's not English is something that I speak at home, and people are just casually speaking at it in a supermarket. So kind of having that cultural awareness and like removing of the cultural block was just amazing for me to see and
Yeah,
kind of
learning from each other.
Literally.
Yeah, every day we learn from each other something new.
Yeah, and actually I think there is a huge benefit of having people from all different communities actually talking together, eating together, doing things together, activities. And there's so much love and harmony that exists, and almost like actually it's something special. It is something special, because you would expect that in communities on their own, but you don't expect that in the wider community, which we've managed to achieve in certain parts of Leicester. One of the other questions I wanted to ask is that, Wesley Hall, you get funding from different organisations. There's lots of, when you talk to government, they say, oh, well, we're funding lots of different projects. Why doesn't the money seem to get through to where it's needed, and it seems to be going off in different directions? Where is that going wrong? I know you possibly did a different question, but it is happening, because there seems to be lots of people saying, oh, well, we're getting there's lots of funding going in, but when it goes down to actual roots of the public and different communities, it doesn't seem to reach there.
I mean, that's a very interesting question, and I'm trying to be as political as possible in my answer.
You have to be, because I look at it and I think to myself, there's something wrong somewhere.
But that's the thing, and we won't be able to know that, because every different organization is different in its own way, and until we kind of go to like the grassroots of the problem to find out what it is, we won't be able to find the block in the engagement or the block in the community outreach, basically. So it's just like, unfortunately, not one answer for all, but more of a customized solution, basically.
And Anita, do you feel that sometimes that you get overlooked, Wesley Hall and different places get overlooked because
it's in every field.
Yeah. Because and there's so many other ways. I mean, bid writers, specialist bid writers, who can write bids, who might not be engaged with the community, but they write the bids and they get the funding, and then they don't always know what to do with it.
Anita is our bid writer.
But that's what happens.
Luckily, most of the organization who gets the funding,
it's
they
changing.
Come to Wesley Hall. They come to Wesley Hall because we have got the people.
Yeah.
So we say, if you have the funding, please come to Wesley Hall, because we have got the people.
You got the people.
Yes.
Yeah. And I in a sort of previous role that I was doing, we had NHS grants that we were giving out, and sometimes you have the usual organisations, that sort of the money goes through. Wesley Hall's not quite like that. It's an unusual sort of composite of different people, location and everything else, and it serves a much wider group of people and much more broad-based outlook as well. And that, I think, has drawn lots of people to it, but we need now, I suppose you need to make sure that you draw the funding to go with it as well.
Yeah, that's our next step.
That's your next step.
Luckily, we have recently received a funding from UK government. We are part of Positive Communities, which is comprised of 12 partners, who will provide a holistic support package for a wide range of individuals in Leicester. And we have got around 12 organizations, with voluntary organizations.
Yeah.
So you can go on the website. It's Positive Communities.
Positive Communities. Right, I'm going to run down the activities that you have. So if everybody is out there who's listening, we're going to run through all the activities that you do at Wesley Hall, and let me know, what day and how you run them. So we've got the Mental Health Learning Disability Group.
The day center.
Yeah,
the day center.
The day center.
Yeah. So that runs
Monday to Friday.
Okay.
Yeah, it's from morning 9:30 till 3:30.
Okay. And any costs attached to it?
None whatsoever.
So it's totally free.
Yeah.
So
social workers, they do help us to get the members.
Okay.
Yeah.
So mental health and learning disability, Monday to Friday, free of charge. Mm-hmm. Anybody can come along.
Because we have got the Positive Communities funding.
Funding, yeah, exactly. Excellent. Elderly Lunch Club. So that's a lunch club that goes every day?
No, Fridays.
Fridays. So every Jummah, every Friday.
Every Friday.
After your Jummah or before?
I think it's lunch, so after.
After Jummah.
Yeah.
So okay, great.
Post namaz.
Right. So Elderly Lunch Club, and that's £4.50.
£4.50.
And they have a full three-course meal. Wow. Okay. What's the qualifying age? I suppose.
And also seated exercise is free of charge.
So seated exercise. I mean, these are really important things because, one of the things is about exercising keeps diabetes away, keeps your blood pressure low, and trying to actively, move, help keeping moving is really important.
Even laughter therapy we have.
Yeah.
Laughter therapy, which is even better.
Everyone needs it.
Yeah. That's great. Youth club. So you've got a youth club running?
Every Saturday and Sunday.
Yes.
Unfortunately, now it's stopped because of the funding.
Okay.
So hopefully we
will
can start again.
We'll start again soon.
Yeah.
You have a coffee morning?
Coffee morning every Thursday.
Every Thursday.
From 10:30 till 12.
10:30 till 12. And that doesn't mean just coffee. You can have tea or soft drinks, whatever it might be.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's provided as
And it's provided free of charge.
So you don't need to bring your own tea
You
or
don't
coffee.
Okay.
Yeah. And we get guest speakers.
Okay.
And we do different activities.
It's themed almost every time.
Okay, excellent. You have the study club.
Every Saturday from 10 till 12.
10 till 12. And again, that's free. That's for children.
Yeah.
Children age?
5 to 11 years.
5 to 11 years. And that's totally free. Anybody can come along. And parents as well. They can learn how to teach.
We give support for parents as well.
Parent education.
Yeah.
Okay. That's great. Then you have the confidence building.
Yes, confidence building. Every Monday.
Okay.
From 10 till 12.
And what's that about?
It's building their confidence. Some are very good at reading, writing, but not able to speak.
Okay.
So we build their confidence.
Build their confidence. Excellent. English classes?
English classes we have got 4 times a week.
Okay.
Yes.
Again, free?
It's free.
Okay. And what does it do?
So we have got ESOL and functional skills, maths, English.
Right. Excellent. Okay. Parent and toddler?
Parent and toddler we have got every Tuesday from 1 till 2:30.
1 till 2:30.
It's almost like a stay in place. So
Stay in
parents
place,
can come with their babies. It's a chance for mums to meet other mums, especially outside of pandemic. A lot of babies haven't met other babies.
Hi. Sorry. Yeah. Parent and toddler. Then you've got preschool.
A preschool for under 4s.
Under 4s.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. And that's again free. And just tell me when
It's funded.
It's funded. It's funded as well.
So
you have antenatal classes, postnatal classes as well.
Yes, Mehndi class. We have got baby massage, baby yoga. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. And then you've got stories for little ones.
Story and singing times.
Singing times.
Every Tuesday we have got 1 till 2:30. No, sorry, it's Wednesday.
Yeah,
Wednesday.
Every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday. 1
Okay,
till
excellent.
2:30.
And the list goes on really, and we're going to be running out of time. We've only got just over a minute left. So the list goes on, but my advice is anybody who's interested in getting involved in any of these activities, please go along to Wesley Hall. Their telephone number is probably on the website, but Wesley
0116 262 6000.
262 6000. Excellent. And lots of activities taking place there. Anita and the rest of the trustees, Aisha and everybody else, really, Yahim, really great thank you to you for all the hard work that you put in at Wesley Hall, serving the community, for the community, regardless of religion, regardless of anything else. It's a fantastic service for everybody. And it's a great pleasure to have you on our show today. Really appreciate your time and keep up the fantastic, great work that you're doing and looking after the people and the vulnerable, most vulnerable people of our city.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're listening to Radio Ramadan on 87.7 FM. I was your host, Zuffar. Please join us again next week when you'll have probably